Hey, we're the Flick Chicks.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica.
And this is the episode where we were uncomfortable for an hour and 54 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Where are we ever?
This was the length of I don't even know how to say, the most unexpected movie, let's just say that, I've ever seen Netflix drop. So just to be clear, this was not a Netflix original. A lot of people think so, but it was just a Polish movie that Netflix picked up, and it's called 365 Days.
There was a lot of buzz about this on the interweb. That's how I heard about it. Just everyone was talking about it, how weird it was, and I thought it was some next 50 Shades of Grey knockoff. So I was like, okay, why is everyone talking about this?
Yeah, they
still don't really know why people were talking about this.
50 Shades of Grey. Because it's so shocking. I think that's literally it. You're like, what?
I honestly, I was just sitting there and I'm like, why? Why?
A lot of the stuff.
This should have been one of those movies that just flew under the radar. Why were so many people watching this? I don't know.
Also, quarantine. I think it's a big deal. But
probably, yeah.
And Netflix, and there's nothing to watch. I think it's all of those combinations.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know.
I'm just wondering how did it's not a Netflix original, so it doesn't mean Netflix didn't promote it. So how did someone on the internet just find it and then
So Netflix didn't promote it, but they kept putting it on my, you know how they're oh, what you should watch next or whatever. They kept giving me that, which is kind of rude. I'm like, is this you?
Yeah,
is this a subtweet that I didn't want? I was like, what are you talking about? But
what are you implying?
Yeah, but I never bothered to, because to be honest, Netflix suggests me a lot of stuff and I don't really pay attention. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because they will suggest you anything that's popular. So.
Mm-hmm. I only ever saw it on my Netflix when it was popular. It was number 5 in movies today. That's the only time I saw it. I never got. So that's why I'm wondering. Did someone just on the internet was like, "Yo, this is such a look at this movie," and then it got popular, and then Netflix started pushing it? Or
I think that might be the case because I heard I've seen a couple other people recap this movie, and they were saying they had been given the suggestion beforehand. And then when it dropped on Netflix, their suggestions started tripling and stuff. So I think maybe in Europe it was pretty 50 Shades of Grey equivalent.
I see. Yeah, that's probably
popular.
But,
so now that more people have access. Okay,
that's true. Sure, I guess we'll jump right into a recap.
Yes.
Honestly, this is my opinion, but this movie I feel doesn't really have a plot.
No, it does not. I had to do research to understand what was happening. Massimo is the guy, or Massimo, I don't know how you want to say, is the main character guy. And I literally had to look up what he was, because I was like, he could either be a businessman or a mob boss. I don't know. He could be either or. Apparently, he's an Italian mobster. Mm-hmm. Okay, stereotypes. Let's go with that. Let's continue with those. So Massimo is the son of an Italian mobster. And the movie opens up with them having a meeting with sex traffickers. They were literally talking about exchanging 12-year-old girls, but the good Italian mobster that his dad is no, we don't deal with little girls. Drugs, probably, but little girls, no, get him away. So long story short, Massimo is staring at this girl on the beach who ends up being Laura. Later we end up finding out. Her name is spelled Laura, but Laura, I'll just
European
respect it.
people, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So his father is, giving him a speech about how the business is going to be his someday. And by someday, he means right now, because he gets shot straight through the heart.
Yeah.
Through the back, through the heart, and dies immediately. And the same bullet that hit his dad ends up hitting Massimo. And he, kind of passes out, if you will. So 5 years later, they jump 5 years later, and Massimo has taken over a business or whatever, and they have this scene where they're contrasting Laura and Massimo in business meetings, but they're literally talking about nothing.
Oh yeah, I was like, what is I thought this was going to be relevant later in the movie, but it wasn't. They just both happened to be in a business meeting at the same time to be oh look, they're business people.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to. It's irrelevant to any that this movie doesn't have a plot, but it's not relevant to the plot anyways.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess, to parallel how they're both strong, independent people. I don't get it. Whatever. So we see that Lara is in a unfulfilled relationship with her boyfriend. And there's a parallel scene again. This one. Oh my goodness. So Lara ends up pleasuring herself, if you will, in her room because her man is like, ew, your little weak heart.
Her man's like a misogynist, pretty much.
Yeah, he's just like, he wasn't even that bad. I thought they were gonna make him worse. Like, I was just like, oh, he just sucks. Like, you could.
I mean, all these movies always start out with like, oh, this girl's in an unfulfilling life or unfulfilling relationship or whatever. Yeah,
and it's usually just like a random like mediocre guy, and I'm like, you could leave him, but okay.
Like that's always an option.
Yes, like I'm like, you don't need this creepy other guy to come in and help you out. Anyways, so but then this scene in the plane. So Massimo's in a plane,
a jet.
Private jet. Sorry, I should specify because he's
just important. Because if he did this on a commercial flight, I would be very concerned.
Oh my goodness! So then there's this scene that I can only describe as a thin line between sexual assault and I don't know what to call it. Okay.
Yeah.
This flight attendant has to help him out. You know, I'm not gonna explain exactly what happens, but it's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I did not see it coming. Like, I was like, what? And then it was just there. It was just too much, okay? So we skip forward to Lara going to Italy for her 29th birthday with her boyfriend and another couple friend. Mm-hmm. And she gets mad at her man for being like a dummy. And she decides that as revenge, she should go out and walk alone in the dark in Italy at night.
She like pushes him into a pool and is like, bye. Just starts walking around.
Right, which is like, she pushed him in the pool in the middle of the day. So I'm like, were you watching? And then she gets kidnapped at night. So I was like, how long were you walking around? Like, my gosh. Dumb. So then she gets, my least favorite line of the entire movie, by the way.
I just remembered. No, you have to say the thing before she left. This is like because they met before.
Yeah. She goes. Sorry, to be fair, she goes. She's at a restaurant, and then she's trying to go to the washroom, I assume. Mm-hmm. And she feels somebody right behind her, and then she like, he's like right next to her, like like drunk people close to her, and he's like, "Are you lost, baby girl?"
I hate it. Are you lost, baby girl? That's what it sounded like.
Are you lost? I can't do it.
No, it's like, are you lost, baby girl?
It makes me gag.
It's literally the cringiest freaking line ever.
Baby girl?
No. Like I'm sorry. Like I hate, like I don't want to make fun of people's accents or whatever.
I know.
But it just sounds so much worse with his accent.
It does.
He's like, baby girl.
Baby girl.
It's just terrible. It's terrible. So yeah,
it makes him sound like older than he is. Like, if you hadn't seen him and you just heard that line, you'd be like, "Oh, is a 50-year-old man talking?" But it's like,
it just doesn't sound correct at all.
Incorrect. It sounds like what a sleazy guy at a bar would tell you, and you'd have to call the bartender to get this guy out of here. Like, that's,
I don't know. I would say it sounds more like someone read a book and was like, "Oh, that sounds good," but didn't say it out. Like, it sounds like he didn't say it out loud before saying that line. And then it just came out of his mouth.
Like the actor was like, "Okay, I got this. Are you lost, baby girl?"
Are you lost, baby girl? Anyways, so he says that at the restaurant, and then when she gets when she's walking around late at night, he's back and he does the exact same thing. Are you lost, baby girl?
And she gets kidnapped. So she wakes up in this huge castle mansion, whatever you want to call it.
It looks like a dungeon.
I know, it really does. It's like creepy. I'm like, where do you live, sir? Like, I don't know.
I feel like she was in a different room every single time.
Yes, I was like, they changed the set every time. And basically, just to fast forward a little bit, she meets Massimo, who's like, "Yo, when I was on my deathbed, I saw a vision of her." This is the worst
explanation ever.
She wasn't even there. Like, he just saw her, and then as he was dying, he I guess his memory conjured up what he had just saw. And then he was like, "I've spent all these years traveling the world looking for you." And then when I found you, I knew it was fate. And I was like, you've been traveling to find her. That's not fate. That's
what she says too.
That's
like,
what she says.
That's you.
Yeah, and he's like, sometimes you gotta make your own luck. I was like, y'all should have cut that out. That was too much.
So he's like, yep, I've kidnapped you and now you're mine, basically.
And then she's like, I'm not your property to own, because, you know, she's an independent young woman, which I'm like, this is not...
Which she's gonna throw out the window in like 2 minutes.
Yes. So then there's a series of violent interactions between them, okay? It happens like 3-4 times in this scene.
In like the span of like 2 seconds, yeah.
It's disturbing. One... Not seriously, but if I was literally being kidnapped and this man said that he stalked me for 5 years, I would not be trying to hit him. I would be like, I think he is capable of doing a lot more than I can by trying to, you know, let me go. Like, bruh, he kidnapped you and drugged you. Do you think he's not above a lot of things? So be careful. But also, he is a righteous man, apparently, who says... I won't touch you without your permission. While hand
touching her
is on her breast. On her breast. Without permission. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, it's in the Wikipedia, like, description of the plot, it literally says, he says he will not touch her without her consent while touching her.
Yes, literally. So
it's so bad. But so they make crazy. He's like, okay, I'm giving you like an arrangement or whatever.
Yeah. And then he basically says that she will stay with him, like, in this place for 365 days. Don't know why he doesn't say a year. And he's going to make her fall in love with him in that year. And if she's not in love with him by then she's free to go.
Yeah.
And
some Wattpad shit, first of all.
I know, literally.
This is some Wattpad shit.
Oh my gosh. It's like Wattpad on, like, if like a Wattpad girl, you know, went back and tried to rewrite her high school story and then added sex.
I was like, I need to make this a little more adult.
Exactly.
Oh, do you think that the Wattpad stories don't have sex in them? That's what I was like. This is a Wattpad story.
Maybe she developed a kink after coming back to her teenager story.
A very dangerous kink.
Yes, I don't even... Honestly, you're right. A teenager would write this, to be honest.
100%.
They would write stupid stuff like this. Yeah. So then, sorry to all teenagers. Not all of you are crazy, but, you know.
No.
I was in the Wattpad world, so we know what happens there.
I was very involved in the Wattpad world, so I'm very familiar. I feel like there already is a story like this that exists. I'm pretty sure I know of a couple.
100%. And basically, she's like, at first she's very resistant, and she's like, I have a life, I have a boyfriend, and he's like, no, you don't. And he shows her these high quality pictures of her man cheating on her. How did you get these? What? Oh my goodness. It was like, you know, boudoir photos.
Oh my God. No, I know.
Like, I was like, what the heck? So then she ends up trying to escape, and she witnesses Massimo kill or like murder this guy who was another sex trafficker, basically. And
because they want me to think, oh, he's actually a good person.
Yeah, he's actually a good guy
because he's killing the sex trafficker guy.
He's kind of like a little bit of a vigilante, as in he finds himself as a more righteous mobster, so he goes out and kills the mobsters who are doing like extra stuff that are unethical to him. Anyways, she faints because of her weak little heart, which I really thought that would come back to be relevant, but again, it was not. So she faints, and then she wakes up to him shirtless next to her, and then more violence ensures. Like, I don't even need to explain this. They just start fighting some more, and then he's like, shut up. Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Literally, we're getting loser. We're going shopping.
So there's a montage of them going shopping. And there's literally like this weird scene where she's trying on lingerie and Massimo just barges in the room. And then she's like, get out. And he's like, no, I take what I want to and I take what I want.
That's literally how he talks.
And I'm like, what? And then he like literally proceeds to choke her because she says something. I forgot exactly what she said. She was like, ew, like, don't, or you'll never see it again. She didn't even say something serious. She was like, you'll never see it again. And he's like, what?
He's like, I'll see whatever I want to see.
Like, oh my gosh.
No, it's
so
really
then
bad.
she's like, I guess the choking set her off not all the other stuff, but this choking was like
enough this specific enough. Instance.
Yes. So she runs away in a stunning red dress, I must say, but whatever. And she sees some Italian authorities, so she tries to get them to help her, but Massimo got those connects, and he's like, "You tried to escape." Oh no, he said this. "Are you lost, baby girl?"
Again. I'm like, when did he say it again? Shoes? I knew there was a third time.
It was the third time. And he was like, "You should wear some shoes if you're going to run. Better shoes." I don't even know. Oh my goodness. So then she's like mad. She's like,
whatever. Okay. And then
they go back. Because she realizes like he's got too many connections in Italia. So she can't really be escaping like that. So they have a dinner where she wears the lingerie she was wearing before. Before. But at dinner, they talk. And, as a seasoned Wattpad person, I could tell this was the scene that we were supposed to, be on his side. Like, be like,
it was like the scene where, like, we're gonna get to know him a little bit. So, he's,
And then all he said was he owns a bunch of clubs and restaurants, which I'm like, okay. Yeah. And... he didn't even talk. He talked about his dad for like 2 seconds. Like he said, like, "Oh yeah, my dad died, and that changed a lot of my life." Which I was like, okay. Love how movies, like, if your parent dies, that's your entire personality. So then he asks her. Oh, also, she said she wanted pierogies for dinner, and he got her that.
Yep. Basically.
What a gentleman. And I was like,
and they weren't even good pierogies.
No. I was like, really, honey? You asked for pierogies? Like, I know you're Polish and stuff, but, like, come on now. Come on.
Anyways.
All right. So then he asks her to teach him how to be a gentle person. Which, that's not even what you need. You need to learn how to be decent, you need
to not kidnap people, maybe?
How to be a decent human being. Is that what you mean by gentle? Because, okay. Well, and then he lets her he returns her phone and her laptop to her after the dinner they had, which then ensues the most unrealistic part of the movie.
I feel like this is the moment where they just completely let go of the entire plot.
Yes. She calls her grandmama and she goes, "Yeah, grandma, I'm cool. I'm just at a hotel in Italy." What makes you trust him? Why? Yeah.
Nothing that happened up until this point would warrant her doing that.
No.
But she's just deciding to go along with whatever his plan is.
Are you kidding me? This is like if in Beauty and the Beast he gave her the let go at like 5 seconds in. Like, "You're not going to have dinner with me? Well, you can leave." What?
Literally.
She's not coming back. Oh my goodness. God. So basically, she's like falling for this guy for some reason. And... oh my goodness. So at dinner they talked, right? And again, the movie tries to convince us that this is enough because he ends up waking up with her in bed literally the next day, and she's like tempted to cuddle with him, but then she's like, no. So then
I can't.
She this room has showers right in front of the bed, by the way, clear showers.
God, this scene was the freaking worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I know. Honestly.
So she gets a little naked. Full naked. I don't know why I said a little.
Yeah. It's like there's like the shower is literally in the bedroom. And I know. No wall. Like literally
that's
just.
That's so stupid. And it's hardwood floor. Like you would definitely get it wet. Like what kind of idea is this?
I think there's like a glass door or something.
Yeah, but they weren't using them. So it's like you're ruining the wood. But whatever. This is me watching too much HGTV. Anyway, so she's there in the shower, and then he's like, ha ha ha. So he comes over. And she's
also
literally
naked.
also naked, and she's staring at his penis the whole time. And then he's like, "You want to touch it?" And she's like, "Nah." And then he's like, "Choke."
Like literally, I hate that I'm laughing at this. Like he's full on assaulting her.
He's assaulting her at every turn. Like I don't understand. And he's like, and he warns her about like, teasing him.
Me,
because he's usually used to taking what he wants, which I'm like, so you're threatening to rape her. That's what you just
basically
did.
It was like, stop tempting me or else I'm gonna rape you.
Yes. Well, great. So basically, after that, he like takes her on a plane. They go somewhere, and she's like fighting again because she's feisty and it's so cute.
Like she was fine a minute ago, but now she's like, no, wait.
She's like, stop, and she's kicking, and he's like, oh wow, she's a feisty woman. We like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then apparently he makes like a joke about how Italian women are like feisty at one point, which I'm like, a little prejudice too for the boys. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyways, so then there's this weird scene where he like teases her, also sexual assault, and then
100%. No, like 100%. The point where I was like, oh, so he's fully sexually assaulting.
Yes,
good to know.
I thought, well, what happened to not touching me without permission?
He said that, and then he just went against it right after. So I was like, okay.
So then there's this other scene where he's talking to his cousin, which is like, what are we doing in this movie? But whatever.
Who knows?
He's talking to his cousin, and she's suggestively eating ice cream. I was disturbed. I was like, why are we zooming in on her mouth?
and why are you seducing him?
I know.
Just a minute ago, you were kicking and screaming.
I know. It's like, it was so weird. Anyways. Yeah. She gives the ice cream to his cousin, and he's like, wow, she's quite a lady. Oh my goodness. Basically, she then, again, another part that doesn't make sense, decides to go to his room, right? I thought you hated him. This is what you should, because he kidnaps you, but apparently we're okay with him sometimes. So she goes to his room just to tease him. Like, actually, I have absolutely no clue why she goes to his room.
Me neither. But she just shows up at the room.
She goes there in a robe, and then he basically attacks her and chains her up, 50 Shades of Grey style. Yeah. And he puts one of those, whatever. Watch the movie if you really need to know that detail.
You don't need to know.
You don't need to know. And he's like, you're teasing me, so I'm going to show you what you're missing. And then he brings in some BDM goddess, okay?
This girl from nowhere. This girl comes out of nowhere.
Also, she had no reason to be dressed like that, because all she was going to do was perform some, stuff with her mouth and then leave. And then he's like, this is what you're missing. Doing all the work.
All he did was, he's like, this is what you're missing. And all he did was just sit there. So what is she missing?
What? He's like, that's too bad. By the way, also, he has a portrait of himself with a tiger or a lion.
In this room, we don't even know where they are. Are they at a hotel, or is this another house of his?
Gosh, you're so right. Like, they never made that clear. No, he's at a hotel, and he asked them to bring his portrait down. He's like, bring it to me. I need it.
Bring it to me, baby girl.
My gosh.
I hate it so much.
This movie is crazy. So, what's her face? Lara's feeling some type of way because, ew. So then he's like,
she's like sitting there like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, no, Finn. Literally, her face was kind of like us, like, why are we doing this? But anyways, he goes like, oh, by the way, he assaults her again, touches her some more without her permission. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, let go, baby girl. We're going to our club. So he's like, need to be at one of my clubs in 2 hours. And you know what Lara does? Because she's a strong, independent woman. She decides, as revenge, to wear a really skimpy dress. Because that's what's going to... I'll show him. Like, what? So she's wearing this dress, and she goes to the club, and she's dancing on another guy from a rival gang. I got this from Wikipedia, not from the movie.
Not from the movie.
And Massimo gets jealous, and eventually this like rival gang guy ends up groping her, and that's when she she has a normal reaction to sexual assault.
The groping before was no issue, but now she's like,
yeah, it was crazy. She was like, before she's like, well, my weak heart can't take it. And this one, she's like, bruh, get off me. Yeah. And Massimo pulls out 2 guns. Oh my God.
Like a fucking Western movie.
Yes. He's like, pow, I'm ready, boys. He's ready. And basically, she starts a gang war with her skimpy little dress. Who knew? And basically, she wakes up on a boat, which was never really explained, and they have a fight, and she's like, I'm sorry for starting a gang war, and he's like, it's all your fault, and she's like, it's your fault that your friend rapes me or tried to rape me, blah blah blah, and they have this whole fight, and she eventually falls off the boat, and it's mostly and it was all his fault, really. Like, I'm like, if you didn't, okay, well, and then
she falls off the boat. He jumps in to
save her, and she's like, "You saved me!" And I was like, "He basically put you there, but okay, you saved me." And her weak heart gives out again, and she wakes up to him being there and being like, "I thought I lost you. I could not imagine what would happen." I don't know what this accent is, but it is what it is.
It's good enough.
Thank you. And then she's like, "Wow. He knows how to perform CPR," and decides to sleep with him. Repeatedly. And this commences the longest scenes of the movie ever.
Literally, there's like a solid just 5 minutes of them going at it.
They did an entire song of just like, that.
Repeat, like they're trying to show you that they, slept with each other repeatedly
in different locations. On the boat, at the bottom of the boat, everywhere, on the table,
on the deck,
yes,
on the bed.
His servants, nowhere to be found.
They don't care.
But they are everywhere, having the time of their lives. So
I'm guessing, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So now she's into him. Okay, we're supposed to believe this. We're supposed to believe that it's this and not Stockholm Syndrome. And
it's 100% Stockholm. Well, 100%. Is it though? Because she literally was fine with him. I feel like 2 minutes after they met, she was like,
it's poor movie syndrome. I don't know, poor movie plot writing period.
Yeah.
Syndrome. So they end up going to a ball where Anna, who's Massimo, literally the day that he saw Laura at the airport, was like, "Bye, my girlfriend. I don't want you anymore." And he had been very clear about, if he ever finds this girl, he's gonna leave her. And she was like, and it happened. So she's there at the ball and she's making threats, being like, "I'm gonna kill this little girl." And Massimo's like, "I won't let anything happen to you." Okay.
Interesting.
And she's not happy. Laura's not happy about it. So they leave early. And Massimo's like, "Yo, I'm sorry for what happened." And then they bone again.
in the freaking bathroom.
In the bathroom. And then he's like, "By the way, you can go visit your family in Warsaw," which is in Poland, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah, that's the capital of Poland.
Okay. And
I think it's a big city in Poland.
Yes. It's in Poland. And he's like, "Yeah, you can go visit your family." And before he leaves, he's like, "I love you." And she's like, "Oh,
I love you."
Yeah. And she looks disturbed when he says it. Which I'm like, everything else, this is reaction you needed for everything else. But whatever. She goes home and talks to her best friend. And like her best friend starts having common sense for 2 seconds. Like, she's like, "What the heck? You need to call the police." But then she's like, "No, but I like him." And her friend's like, "Oh, okay." Which is like,
mind you, like, it hasn't even been like, it's been like a month and a half.
Yes. She's like, "I thought you got kidnapped and whatever." And I'm like, "The police weren't called?" Oh,
nobody called the police. Nothing.
Like, it's been more than 24 hours you can call for a missing person.
No, she got kidnapped. Oh, well.
Oh, man.
Maybe she'll come back.
She's like, another best friend bites the dust, man. She's like, another one. Oh, my goodness, this girl. Yeah. So, I'm really just going to paraphrase the rest of this movie because, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, honestly, it's nothing of substance.
So, there's another montage of her and her friend. This movie is just montages of sex and shopping. Which is what the two things I think women like, I guess. Mm-hmm. So there's a montage of her having a stupid like makeover shopping spree with her friend because apparently she needs it after being kidnapped, normal things. And she adorns this disgusting, terrible wig
Is it a wig in the movie?
Oh yeah, Monica, that thing. If it's not
no, but wig, I mean in the movie.
Oh, in the movie, it's not supposed to be a wig.
Okay, that's what yeah. So in the movie, she dyes her hair this like really weird shade of
terrible
like, blonde, and it's like a bob cut. Why? I don't know.
It's like a platinum blonde. She dyes her hair and she cuts it into a bob, but it's so obviously a wig. It's disturbing. Yeah. And she ends up running into her ex-man, who's kind of like, you know, oh, I want you back, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, nah, B, I don't want you no more. And he follows her to her place, and then Massimo's there. It's sad that the ex-boyfriend is more respectful than Massimo has been this whole movie. And he's not even, he's still trash, but like, I was shocked to see proper behavior for a bit. Like I was like, oh, he's not choking her.
Because they want us to think like, oh, but look, see, he's grown. He's not that bad.
I'm like, what the? So then Massimo's like, get out. She asked you to leave, and it's like you should learn about yourself in that sentence. But okay. And they have some more sex. She gets mad at him for some reason and slaps him, which I don't really understand. And then
I think it's because she didn't hear from him for like a couple days or something.
Okay. I guess that's slap-worthy. And while having intercourse, she says, I don't need 365 days. And he's like, ¿Por qué, mi amor? That's Spanish. That's not right. Yep. She's like, whatever, because I love you. And he's like, wow. And in the morning, he proposes without consent again.
She just wakes up with a ring on her finger. Yes. And he's like, yeah, marry me.
Yes. And she's like, oh, yes. This man can't ask for anything. He has literally not asked a single question this whole movie, by the way, if you really think about it. Not once.
Yeah, no, honestly, I didn't think about it that way, but yep, he's like... Yeah,
he meets her parents at one point and lies about what... He just says what
No, he doesn't even lie. He's like, I'm a gangster. And they're all like, aha, you silly so boy.
You're so funny. And then another montage of her going wedding dress shopping with her friend, her bestie. Mm-hmm. And then we found out the big reveal... Which is not really a big reveal because they haven't been using protection the entire time. No. Laura finds out she's pregnant, and Olga's like, "What the heck?" That's when Olga gets freaking out.
Oh, she like literally pages her.
Yes, because like,
before she was known each other for 2 months, and you're getting married.
Like, and she's like, now you're trapped. Like you got a baby. Because before she was like, marriage, you can divorce. But she's like, a baby.
And she literally yells at her, and this is when I found out that it's only been 2 months. She's like, it's only been 2. You've only known each other for 2 months. I was like, it's only been 2 months. Like she literally didn't even take the 365 days. Literally just 2 months, and she was like, okay, fine, I love you. Like I don't understand.
Which is crazy to me because at the same time I was like, I thought it was shorter because she was gone, you know, and nobody was worried.
I don't know.
This movie. Then she goes wedding dress shopping. Can't lie, the dress was pretty. The wig, 0 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend.
No.
And yeah, she's pregnant, and then Olga's like, which is her best friend, is like, you should call the baby daddy and let him know. And she's like, okay. And as she's calling, what's his face's sidekicks, Massimo's sidekicks, are finding out that Anna's gang is has a hit on Laura, and they're about to perform the murder. And we see Laura and her best friend in the car. They drive through a tunnel, and nothing. They don't come out of the tunnel. And
Massimo's like on the phone with her, and he's like, she cuts out. And then
he's like, what's happening? And then his assistant sidekick guy is running to him with all his might. He has the weak heart, really. He was like running. And he's like, he gives like a hunched shoulder, like literally that emoji, like, my bad. And he's like, no, my girl is dead. Even though I don't think she's dead, because this movie is based off a book that has many sequels.
A book? Oh no.
Oh yes, honey. And it has 2 more books. So we can guess that she ain't really dead. But
like I was just that's literally the end of the movie. This girl is presumed dead, and that's it.
So if you didn't know that there was a sequel, that would be very frustrating because I hate when people die off screen. I don't like that stuff. It's just like, show me what happened. Unless it's like a good plot and it's like mysterious, which is not the case in this movie.
No.
Okay, Monica. Wow. Wow. This recap was long because we were roasting it the whole time. It was just like
I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm trying to look at it as like no. No. The sets were nice, I guess. Like, it was a pretty setting.
I like the costume design, I guess.
I didn't. Some of her dresses were ugly.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the red dress and the wedding dress. What else did she wear?
But I like the sets. Like, it was a nice little tropical, I don't know, whatever. But like, I'm trying to look at it from like an objective movie perspective. This was a terrible ass movie. It was bad. The acting, the script.
I'll give it props for introducing us to Europe. Okay, and this is a very small prop. I did kind of, not really though, enjoy that there was like different languages, but they didn't make that clear at all. Like, I literally had to put the subtitles to know what was happening.
I mean, I always have the subtitles on, but like, I mean, I guess it's like, it makes it realistic that like they're both from different countries. So whenever she's in Poland, they speak Polish. And when they're in Italy, they speak Italian. And then when they're together, they speak English. Like, it makes sense.
I couldn't even tell though that they were speaking different things. Like, I was like, are they not? Because
I mean, I had the subtitles on, so it says in Polish.
Yes, it says. I didn't at the beginning, and I was like, huh. And Polish has so many. I didn't know, like, really strong Latin roots. Like the way they sing happy birthday is so similar to Spanish. So for a good while I was like, like cumpleaños, which is like birthday. So I was like, oh, Spanish. And then I'm like, no. So,
but like, that was, okay, I guess we'll just get into things we didn't like about the movie.
Yes, so many. The lack
First
of plot.
Of all, I was gonna say the plot is like, if you had told me, okay, if someone had come to me and said, you need to write a movie, and the premise of it is that this guy kidnaps this girl and gives her 365 days to fall in love with her, I could probably write a better plot than this.
Yes.
Even though the premise of it is bad, and it's like basically just like glamorizing kidnap and like abuse, I could probably write a more interesting plot than this. The Wattpad teenager writers could write a better plot than this. This plot was literally terrible. I was just sitting there thinking, okay, this is terrible acting, this is terrible concept, but maybe the plot's gonna be interesting. But no, they literally just gave up on it halfway through, maybe like a quarter way through. They're like, okay, whatever, just give up on this plot, we're just gonna do whatever at this point. Like, it was, first of all, it's only 2 months. Like, I thought they were gonna go through the whole 365 days, and then something was gonna happen towards the end of the 365 days. You know, that would make more sense. Like, over the course of a whole year, her Stockholm syndrome has the time to simmer.
That would be cool, like an analysis on Stockholm syndrome, but they would never do that, obviously.
Even if it's not an analysis, even if it's just glamorizing it, at least she has a year, right? But in 1 month, you expect me to believe she fell in love with him? No way. Okay, and like, also, the whole like gang mafia made no sense. Like, there's never, it was never in there unless like they needed it for plot device or whatever. And like, just nothing, there was nothing there for her to fall in love with. So like, how am I supposed to believe she fell in love with him? Nothing happened.
Like, I'm gonna have to. 50 Shades of Grey is a bad movie, obviously. But there are elements of it that make more sense. Like, obviously people are comparing them.
Yeah.
There are elements of it that make more sense.
The plot of 50 Shades of Grey makes sense.
Yeah, and I could see, of course, this virgin girl falling in love with a billionaire who's obsessed with her. Like, duh. Like,
yeah. And they were like having a thing for like a while too.
Yes. It was like over time. And even then, she still was like, you hit me 1 time's too many. I'm leaving. So it was somewhat made sense. This one, I was like, why would she not call her grandma and tell her what the tea was?
That's what I'm saying. And like, you expect me to leave 2 weeks in, she's just like given up, and she's like, whatever, I'm just gonna like stay with him. What has led you to that?
He's not even like a nice guy too, because like, you could argue
I didn't even get to him as a character. He's cringy as hell. Goodness. He's so cringy. He's literally like, I get what I want.
You didn't even give him like, at least if there was in 2 weeks, if he was like showing that he's a nice guy and was like being nice or something, even though it's still creepy, but if he was being nice, then you could be like, oh, okay, kind of. But he was also disgusting. So it was like, why even...
He didn't even, like, he had no personality.
Yes,
except his only personality trait was,
even get this.
Like, oh, you are mine. I want you. Like, I don't know.
Like,
no, it's just thinking about this movie, like, it gives me, like, brain damage.
Oh my gosh. And I literally forgot to mention, there's literally a part, literally at the beginning. This is the part that didn't make any sense. Where she manages to pull his gun out of
I don't know pockets. Where that gun came from.
It's his. Like, he had it in the back of his thing.
I didn't realize, like, she just whipped out a gun, and I was sitting like, where did it come from?
They really didn't make that clear. There should have been a line where he was like, clever girl, guess my gun. This movie's not above that, so put it in there.
No.
And
we just are expected to assume the gun came from somewhere.
She doesn't shoot him. I'm like, why would you shoot him? Why? Even if you're not, like, a killer, like, I can get that it could be kind of scary. Shoot him in this leg, shoulder, hip, anywhere.
Anything.
Pow, pow, pow. Get it done. Okay? Like, it literally didn't make sense why she didn't at least try to shoot him. Like, they could have at least done a little action and have seen her going, like, you know when people pull the trigger and the person, like, points it upward, you know, like they always do that. Yeah.
To show that she actually was willing to shoot it.
Yes. Because now I'm like, this girl is not a trustworthy person, like, who acts like a normal person would in a situation like this. You should be scared.
It's just not good. The script is terrible.
It isn't.
Whoever's decision was it to put "Are you lost, baby girl" as his little catchphrase, jail. Like, just stop. It's so bad.
Chair.
It's so bad. Every time he says it, I literally was like, oh.
Oh my god.
Are you lost, baby girl?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I honestly, like, I'm telling you right now, just even thinking about this movie is giving me brain damage. Like,
I feel like I lost. I had to, like, slightly rewatch it just to make sure I got all the parts right, and I was like,
it just doesn't, like, are you trying to, also the movie doesn't really have a point, so, like, are you trying to show us this relationship between the two of them, or are you trying to show this mob boss shit? I'm telling you right now, I've read some shit on, like, Wattpad that's better than this.
Yes. I literally
by far.
At the end, I was like, until I found out about all the sequels and crap, I was like, is this supposed to teach us that bad men still don't deserve to get the girl? Like, I was like, is it trying to be right? But that was
no. I don't think so.
No.
But no, like, this makes me, like, angry because I'm like, you could have hired someone. You could have hired a teenage girl to write this, and it would have been way better because the plot literally didn't make any sense. I'm like, if you're gonna have a terrible premise, at least make me hate myself for liking it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's gonna be a terrible plot, like whatever. Yeah, premise. At least make me sit there and be like, "Oh, that's a terrible concept, but it's good." Like, but no, it's a terrible concept, and it was a terrible movie. On top of that,
what would you, if they gave you like $1 million budget, which is like nothing for a movie?
I thought about this.
And what would you change? What would you do?
I literally thought, I'm like, this is what I would make the movie be like. Okay.
Yes. So
he pretend he's actually a mob, like he's still a mob boss, whatever, right? I would say, first of all, like, I'm telling you right now, the premise is not going to be good. And that's, like, it's not going to be good. Okay?
No. They're giving you money to fix it. You can't really change too much. They still want it based off the book.
He kidnaps her for, I don't know, a better reason. That was a terrible reason. The whole shit.
Is she witnesses a crime. That would have been such an easy thing. That's what I was going to say.
So maybe she witnesses a crime, and, like some, if she's released into the world, they can't have that because she saw some next shit. I don't know. So he kidnaps her. And then he says, like, the whole fall in love with me part is not part of the deal. So he's like, I'm going to keep you here for 365 days, whatever. Right? Okay. Like, something like that. Right? And then she just so happens to fall in love with him in 365 days. You know what? Stockholm Syndrome, what can you do about it? Or maybe, like, he goes and tells his friend or whatever, like, on the side, like, I'm going to make her fall in love. Or, like, they make a bet or something. Or maybe some stupid mob boss is like, okay, if you can make her fall in love with you after 365 days, then maybe she won't be a blabbermouth to whatever she saw. So like, he tells her, make her fall in love with you in 365 days. So he's like, okay, I will. So then he does. And then, like, we see, like, the you know, at first she's, like, super resistant and, like, doesn't want to speak to him, doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, doesn't do all this stuff. And then finally, like, she's like, okay, fine. Like, she'll like, she tries to escape a bunch of times. And then, like, maybe there's, like, a scene where, I don't know, they bond over something.
Yes.
There always has to be that scene where they bond over something.
Yes.
Maybe they both lost their dad. I don't know. And then they
classic.
Classic. So then they bond over something, but then she's still kind of like, oh, but no, you're still a terrible person.
Yeah.
And then maybe he's like, okay, I'm taking you out. You know how the way he did it before. He's like, we're going out. So he takes her out. Turns out he's doing some like philanthropy there. Like I was about to say therapist.
Yes.
Philanthropy, charity work, something.
Yes.
Because he's like, oh well, we're mob bosses, but we know we're bad, so we feel like
we
have to give back to the community, that kind of thing. So she's like, oh, maybe he's actually not that bad of a guy. Whatever. They go back, they bond a little more. It's like 9 months in, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I've been here for 9 months, 8 months, whatever. And then like finally, maybe like, oh, I have a good one. He's like, I'm gonna cook you a meal today. I tell you right now, I've been on Wattpad too much. I know all the tropes.
He's cooking
like,
something, and she's like,
he's cooking something, and she's like watching him. Whatever. He cooks her favorite like food. He's like, I'm gonna do it right for you this time. So he cooks her, and then they're eating it. She's like, this is really good. They bond. Then they fall in love, and then like whatever, 11 months in, the mob war breaks out, and then this whole whatever he jumps in front of a bullet for her.
Oh my, there has to
be that. So someone tries to shoot her, and he jumps in front of the bullets. We think he died. He wakes up, and like she goes to the hospital with him. She's like, I can't believe I almost lost you.
And he has a ring on his finger.
No. No,
be crazy.
And then she's like, I love you, in the hospital bed. Or no, she'll like whisper it to him when he's still unconscious, but then he actually heard it.
He makes
like he was like, no, like he was actually awake, but he didn't want to make it seem like he was awake. So she's like, I love you. And then he's like, I heard, like he like opens his eyes, and he's like, really?
I held you, baby girl.
And then they fall in love, and then there we go. That's the end. There's my movie.
Wow.
Way better.
Okay. So
yeah, what would you do?
I can't. This movie's so bad. Yours is great. Yours is great if you keep continuing the romance, okay?
Yeah.
I would make it a little bit more of a comedy, okay?
Okay.
I would parody, obviously, a lot of it. First, I would make her life terrible at the beginning. Like, she has nothing going on for her. Like, it sucks. Like, you know, like, her job sucks. She gets paid, like, $2. Nothing's going right.
Okay.
And then she witnesses a crime.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, no. And then she's like, what? And then he kidnaps her, right?
Okay.
And I don't even know where I'm going. So he's like, I can't let you go. And she's like, what the heck? I need to get out of here. And he's like, nah. And then she's like, gosh. And then he's like, I'm going to show you. He was like, your life sucked anyways. And then she's like, what? And he's like, I've actually low-key seen you. And like, for some reason, he
felt bad for her, so he kidnapped her.
And he was like, this is the best thing that could have happened to you anyway.
Oh, no.
So then she's like, what? And then he's like, I'm going to show you the mob boss life. So then he actually adopts her as a protege. And he's like, yo, I'm going to teach you how to be a mobster. And he's like,
okay, I think I like that.
Yes. And he's teaching her how to do the stuff. And then he shows her like the good side too. Like there would be the whole like, oh, like everyone thinks mobsters are bad, but we actually take care of our community, even though it's like a controversial take. But whatever. Yeah. Some of them do. Some gangs do self-police their communities. You know, however you want to take it. But he would show her that side of it, and she's like, wow, he like actually helps kids and stuff. And then she falls in love with him. They fall in love organically, and then they become the best mob boss couple ever. And the movie ends with both of them in jail. I feel like that's just the right thing to do.
Wow, that was a plot twist.
But they got married before because they don't want to testify against each other.
Okay, I think I like that, honestly.
It's pretty good. That would be like, you could put a lot of comedy in it. It would be kind of funny.
So see, the point is, we are literally just sitting here and we came up with a better plot for this movie than the hired writers.
Oh my goodness.
With this high budget movie.
I'm worried about publishing this episode because people might
Someone's gonna steal it.
Yes.
Our idea.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Anyways, so point is, this movie was terrible. Like, literally garbage. I honestly liked 50 Shades. I was going to say 60 Shades. 50 Shades of Grey better than this.
Yes. What grade would you... What grade would you give 50 Shades, and then what grade would you give this?
That's 50 Shades, I would give it like a C.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah, I'd give it like a C. Because it was cringy a little bit, but like, I don't know. I didn't mind it that much. It was just kind of like that. You could tell it's based on the book that like adult women read. You know,
adult women.
But this I would give it like a D-. Maybe not an F, just because like I could see that they were like, at least the cinematographer was trying to do something. At least he's like, you know what, this is a shitty ass job, but like let me at least try to make it look okay. But like it's just bad. Yes. It's terrible movie.
I would give 50 Shades a D+ only because I wasn't convinced by what's his face, the gray guy, him at all. Like he did not give me like dominatrix or whatever. Was that a women? I don't know. I thought that was only the
I don't know what they're called.
He didn't give me alpha male whatsoever. Like it looks like I could push him down. But I think
the whole point was to show that like it could be a normal dude too.
I guess, but he just didn't seem sure of himself, even in the scenes. Like he was kind of.
I haven't watched it in a while, so I'm not sure.
He just didn't. I wasn't convinced about him. Also, I don't know. For me, I just don't like the idea of like dudes seeing a girl and being like, "Yes, I'm in love with her," like the love at first sight kind of crap. I hate that. Yeah. I hate that. So that's why I would give that a D+. But you know, the soundtrack for whatever. Fire. I liked it. So
I did not like the soundtrack. For every time like something would happen and then for 50 Shades. Oh yeah. I thought you meant for some reason. I thought we were talking about 365 days, whatever it's called. Why is it called 365 days if it's only 2 months? Like that doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. No, I liked the soundtrack in 50 Shades. I was grooving to some of the
it was a fantastic.
It was good
soundtrack.
Yeah,
they really did that.
No, 365 days, honey. That one, you're being nice. It's getting an F. I'm sorry. Okay, listen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Even though cinematographers, good try. But that's why you're getting a 45, okay? They brought you up here. Plot trash. I don't like confusion. Don't be confusing if you're a romance movie. It should be very clear what's happening. Like,
exactly.
I should not, this is not Inception. I should not be trying to talk about what happened. I should be like, wow, a couple fell in love and I'm happy. That should be it. No confusion.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Like, what was this movie? And every time they had another shopping montage, I took off some points. Yeah. Monica also.
No,
their terrible attempt at putting gay people in it. Did you notice that?
No, what?
They had the men at one montage in the shopping point. They had some quote unquote fruity men wearing these very patterned shirts and like patterned suits and had colored hair, and they were like, lady girl, like you need to wear this, and I was like, I see what you're trying to do. Do not do this. So that gets extra points off. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
If you didn't listen to Monica's episode last week,
just
what
stop.
Are you doing? What are you doing?
Stop.
Then you know why I took off more points. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly was barely paying attention while I was watching this movie. I was like, I just need this to be over. Like, just stop.
I definitely skipped a lot of parts. But I did, the beginning of the montage, she's like getting dressed over by two random men for some freaking reason. And they're literally like, if you go back, they're like, how to have a unuseful gay character 101, and then they put that there. That's literally what they did, except they didn't speak. Even worse. So it was like,
anyways, the point is, just stop. I don't want to, like, apparently the sequel was supposed to be filmed, but it got postponed because of coronavirus. I hope they run out of money and they can't film a sequel, because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
They're definitely putting it on Netflix, and you know it, because this one made a lot of buzz.
Will I watch it? Maybe, because I just want to know what happened.
I know!
I want to know if she's alive. I would
just watch the beginning just to see how she's not dead, and then I'm good.
And he's going to be like, baby girl, I thought I lost you again. If you're going to watch anything, go to the movie and skip to the scene where they're in a restaurant just to laugh at him saying, are you lost, baby girl?
Are you lost, baby girl?
And then close it. And then don't watch
that's going to be a meme, bro.
I've already seen it on Twitter, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Anyways,
Monica.
So that was that movie. Yes. Terrible, awful.
This is
but like, you know what? We gotta even out. We can't always do good movies on here. We gotta roast a couple of movies.
We do. It's called roasting movies by the fire. We gotta
exactly.
We gotta Yeah. Oh my goodness. This
anyways
was quite the event.
All right, so we hope you liked this episode as much as we hated this movie. As usual, follow us on Instagram at flickchickspod, subscribe, give us a good review, and next week we'll be back with another general episode.
Yes. All right, bye.